Hi guys, and welcome to this developer review of Phoenix Fire, the studio behind the game Osiris New Dawn. The description for Osiris New Dawn reads as, after crash landing on a distant planet, build a colony with your friends, battle others and explore the system prospecting for immeasurable riches. Discover and fight indigenous alien creatures or search for lost human expeditions as you survive the far reaches of space. The game was released on Steam on the 28th of September 2016 and costs €22.99 or your regional equivalent. It currently has a mostly positive rating, with 71% of just over 5,500 reviews being positive. However, its recent rating is much lower, at mixed, with only 46% of 379 reviews being positive. Phoenix Fire was created in 2010 by Brian and Anna McRae, two environmental artists who have worked for several AAA studios. The core team, according to their website, consists of Brian, Anna and a gentleman called Manny. This information, however, is inconsistent with other sources of information. On the 23rd of July 2015, Phoenix Fire announced a tie-up with Reverb Triple XP as a publisher. Osiris New Dawn was released on the 28th of September 2016, so just over a year after this tie-up with Reverb, and it was launched to immense success. In fact, it had so much success, the game actually had a few technical issues because there were so many people playing it. Reverb have published, amongst other games, Ark and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which are two incredibly well publicised games. PUBG in particular is a poster child for how to publicise an early access game, and it's clear that Reverb did an equally impressive job with Osiris New Dawn. Each developer review follows the same format. There are 4 individual ratings, each of which is rated from A for exceptional to E, which is disgraceful. And then there is an overall positive or negative recommendation on whether you should consider supporting this development studio. The first rating we're going to look at is community interaction. The community interaction rating is all about how often and how well the devs interact and communicate with the community. This could be through their Steam forums, this could be through social media, through Twitch, or through a variety of different ways. Now at the moment there seem to be 2 main people active on the forums. Those are Osiris Cam, who's active across a number of forums, and Osiris Jamie, who concentrates on the bugs forum. In the past, Mountain Outcast, who looking at his post history seems to be a Reverb employee, was also very active. And of course there's Brian, who's only made 9 posts, but his last thread that he started, which was titled "From the Creator, I'm Not Having Fun Either, This Is a Process," is something that we'll look at in detail in a few seconds. Now, besides the Steam forums, the devs are quite active on Facebook and Twitter, and certainly over the last couple of months they've put up several straw polls or several requests for the community to provide feedback on what they'd like to see in the game. But there's one thing I want to highlight here. I mentioned earlier a thread that Brian had put in the Steam forums. This is that thread, and it's titled "From the Creator, I'm Not Having Fun Either, This Is a Process." Now to me this thread shows the best and the worst of Phoenix Fire. It shows the best because it demonstrates that they're very passionate about their game. They want to make something that's as close to AAA quality as possible, and they want to include the community in that process. But it shows the negative because this is a reactive post. It's not a proactive post. The only reason why Brian posted this is because their Steam reviews are down to 46%. In fact, this was only the 7th post that Brian had made on the Steam forums up until this date. So it's not part of a step-by-step inclusion of the community in what's happening. It's just simply something that's been posted up to deal with an immediate problem. For all of the work with the community across Steam forums and social media, especially in the feedback and the bug forums, I'm going to give Phoenix Fire a community interaction rating of B. The second of the 4 developer ratings is developer speed. This is all about how quickly updates are released, how accurate the release date is versus the promised date, and the amount of content per release. In this particular rating, Fenix Fire have done a very good job. They've had upwards of 25 updates since release, including 2 very large updates, Dawn of Aziel and also Proteus 2. So they've added a new world, they've added lots of different things, and they've really expanded the gameplay. They have introduced a lot of bugs along the way, but to compensate there have been several hot fixes as well. They also, for a short period of time, had a public beta as well, so you could test the test branch. Now they don't have that at the moment, and I would like to see that come back. But overall, based on the number of updates and the number of hot fixes to deal with any particular issues, I'm going to give them a rating of B for developer speed. The third of the developer ratings is development clarity. Does the developer have a public board that shows the progress of the tasks they're currently working on? Do they have a public roadmap? And do they have a public description of what the game will be when it's finished in some detail? And when is the estimated time that the game will be completed? Now, unfortunately for Fenix Fire, this is where they really fall down. There's no public board that shows the tasks they're working on. There's very little advance info on the next patch. Sometimes they will give a description of that, sometimes they don't. There's no public roadmap, so we don't know what phases and what stages are required to go through before the game's complete. Which also means that we don't know what the complete game's supposed to look like. They've given a time for the game to be finished of anywhere from September 2017 to the end of 2017. And if we look at the velocity of development at the moment, I find it very hard to imagine this game will be finished by the end of 2017. They've also mentioned in an update on February 21st that they're developing an Android and an iOS app. Now, I actually checked in the Android store today. I couldn't find that, and I can't see any information on the development of that app. So for all the reasons that I've mentioned, I'm going to give Fenix Fire a rating of D for developer clarity. The fourth and last of the ratings for developers is developer honesty. What claims have the developers made about the game, and are they true? Have they ever screwed up or lied to the community? And how honest is the Steam store relative to the game itself? Now, if we take that last one first, on the Steam store they still have a very old trailer on there which is not representative of the game as it is today. They also state that they expect the game to be finished within about a year. That I just genuinely cannot see happening. So there are 2 inconsistencies on their store page. On the plus side, they have never actually straight up lied that I can find, and they've never genuinely screwed up. They have held their hand up and said, hey, we have a problem with hackers, and they've fixed that. So they have taken steps to address issues with the game that the community has made them aware of. They've also not outright made any claims about the game which are untrue, which unfortunately developers sometimes do. So I'm going to give them a rating of B. When I first started to research Fenix Fire, they had all the hallmarks of a studio that were heading into development hell. They had no clear communication on what they were developing, they had no clear communication on what they were working towards, and they had no clear communication on when they were going to deliver this. So what I did was quickly run the numbers using Steam Spy's numbers to get a rough idea of how much money they've made, remove the percentage that Steam takes, remove the percentage that Reverb probably take, and then roughly work out how many man-months of money that they've made. To my surprise, I found out that unless they spent a lot of money somewhere that we don't know about, they're probably sitting on quite a nice lump sum of cash because they have had very good sales of this game. Like I said earlier, Reverb did a very good job around the launch of the game. At the moment, they have a 46% rating on Steam reviews. Now, it's an early access game. There's going to be bugs. There's going to be patches that come out where they try things that don't work, and in later patches they will try other things that will work. That's just the nature of an early access game, and anybody that purchases an early access game needs to know and understand that. Having said that though, it's on the studio's shoulders to be open and informative and make sure that you are clear with the community. This is something that Fenix Fire do not do. All they need to do, for example, is whatever tool they use for their sprints, Trello, Google Documents, Jira, post-it notes on a board, just let the community see that, let them see what's coming, give them an idea of what's on the board. Put out a statement that says we expect the game to be finished by this date. These are the features we expect the game to have. We will update this as we go forwards, as we learn more as we go through the development process. Unfortunately, due to the reasons I've mentioned in this video, I have no choice but to give Fenix Fire a not recommended rating for Osiris New Dawn. Although they do have some significant pluses on their side, the negatives outweigh them by some degree, and it's for this reason I can't recommend them. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've enjoyed it, please consider hitting that like button. And if you've really enjoyed it, please consider hitting that subscribe button. That's it for now. As always, enjoy your gaming. Take care.